School is supposed to be a safe place for everyone, but unfortunately for too many of us, that is not the case. Hi, I'm Jamie from Dear Laura, and in this movie we see the repercussions of high school bullying and how even when people reach out for help, schools don't necessarily do all that they can to help stop the bullying.
Did you report the bullying at all to anyone?
In England? You don't do that. You don't do that. If you report it to the teachers beat you up.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, as a kid in school, I never read. And my fifth grade teacher, who was the only teacher that really cared about me, he said, Jerry gets along great with others. However, he needs to read more. And I didn't listen to that. And I started reading more, probably in my 20s. And I'm still playing catch up. And it's weird. But readers make leaders. Reading is so important. And with the boys club, I talked to there's some of the kids there. There's a bunch of books that a friend of mine from Los Angeles sent me. And they were books for tweens, teenagers, young kids, in their 13, 14-year-old. I asked this kid, I said, do you read? He goes, no, I hate reading. I said, so I gave him the whole spiel about reading, and I gave him the book, and he came up to me and he goes, I've been reading the book, man. He says, it's really cool. And I'm like, yes. I said, when you finish that one, I said, I got another one for you. Reading is so important. I just wish I would have listened to my fifth grade teacher, Mr. Vetus, and started reading more, but I'm playing catch up now. And it's so important. It's imperative in success in life. Yes. Thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you.
Yes. And I want to talk. You're in Boise, Idaho?
Yes.
Okay. We got to talk because working with teens and the stuff that I do, I would love to talk to you more and to hear more about what you do with the online stuff.
Power team. Power team.
Yeah. And my schools are statewide, so I have kids all the way up to the tip of Canada. I mean to the where Idaho, Canada, I should say.
And you write grants.
It's not my favorite thing to do, but I was really
God. Yes. Okay, we're going to keep in touch. I got some ideas I want to talk to you about. Definitely.
Yeah, you bet.
Yes. My man Adam, how you doing, Adam?
I'm good, thanks. How you going?
Good to see you, brother. Glad you make it, man. Let's share your story, man. Tell us about yourself and what you went through with bullying and what you think that could change and that needs to change.
Yeah, like most of these stories, mine started many, many years ago, early grade school. I was born with spina bifida, which is a physical disability. I was born with a hole in my spine, so I walk quite different to what I guess the public would expect to see. So a lot of my bullying centered around mimicking my walk, and also the way I speak, mimicking how I speak. And I think in society there's a perception that if you've got a physical disability, an intellectual disability follows through. And in many, many cases, that's simply not the case. My story is quite similar to what Darryl was saying. One bully in early primary school turned into many. I sort of liken it to a pack of hyenas. One comes in and starts the attack, and then there's all the pack of hyenas in the background laughing and giggling and carrying on, and then they dive in for their little bite onto the creature. So I thankfully didn't really have any long-lasting effects. I've got a very supportive network around me, so I've moved on with life. I still continue, which is quite sad. And I think you mentioned earlier that adulthood doesn't tend to stop bullying. When you become an adult, you expect that life is going to change, but it doesn't. And in some situations, it can become worse. As I previously said, people assume that if you've got a physical disability, you've got an intellectual disability. Well, yeah, it's an unfounded opinion in my mind. I work in finance. So I have my entire working life, so I work with numbers. So that the opinion that if you've got a physical disability that you've got an intellectual disability is it's not true. It's not true. And I tend to agree with something Doug mentioned earlier. I think it all begins with people's ignorance. People they make opinions on sites rather than on getting to know somebody, I guess you'd say. Before speaking to somebody, in more situations, people have already made an opinion of you just on your appearance, which is unfair, I believe. One thing I have noticed, I don't know whether it's the same overseas, but in Australia particularly, it's mandatory in every workplace. It's mandatory to undertake regular discrimination training. In my experience, the courses are run by what you would classify as beautiful people who have never experienced bullying, never experienced discrimination. They're telling how society should act on textbook, what's written in textbooks, and you can't give an experience and give a training on that sort of thing from something that's written in a textbook. You have to experience it, and as much as I say you have to experience it, it is completely unacceptable, and nobody needs to experience bullying. I hate it. I really do hate it. But unless you have experienced it, I don't think you can understand what it's like, and you certainly can't train people on what is accurate and what is allowed or not allowed in a workplace or in a schooling environment.
I've talked to quite a few people, and we get into a conversation about bullying. It gets a little bit heated, and then what stops it is, have you ever been bullied? Have you ever experienced being bullied? And they're like, well, no, and I'm like, well, then shut up. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. Until you experience it, yeah, it's like, really? Yeah,
you're going to come into my workplace. You're going to come into my workplace and tell me how I should feel if I get bullied.
Yeah.
You haven't got a clue, my friend. You really don't have a clue what I'm going to do, how I'm going to react, and how I'm going to feel. Unless it's happened to you, you just don't know. And as we've seen all afternoon, people have become physical. People have hidden away. There's no right or wrong way to deal with your bullying. I think support is the biggest thing that you require if you're a victim of bullying.
Yeah, amen to that.
Yeah, you have kids, Adam?
I have, this year recently we've just had a COVID baby.
Congratulations. Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you have one child, correct?
Yeah, one baby. Yeah.
Okay, so it's too young to, boy or girl? Sorry.
A little boy.
Little boy. Okay, so he's too young now to talk about bullying. But one thing I would suggest, how old is he?
He's 8 months.
8 months. I don't know if you do this or don't. And when I do it, my wife goes, he works with kids. You talk to him and encourage him, and you're amazing. You're going to do great things. What's his name?
Austin.
Austin. Oh, yeah, Austin. You're going to do amazing things. You're going to do, but just constantly feeding them that positive reinforcement. I highly encourage that. And if you come across with you guys come across a friend with a baby, even a baby in the womb, give it positive affirmations and talk to it, because a friend of ours just had a child and she said, Jerry, I'm telling you, she said, when you say certain things, Nisha remembers it. So, you know, it's up to us, and it's up to us to share what we've got in the world and to share our stories and to help others. That's what it is. I mean, we are never underestimate the power of planting a seed. And that's what we need to do. And the more positive affirmations that we could throw at these kids, the better. And you know, even though you might not think they're listening, a seed is planted. So Adam, just plant some seeds, brother. Be a gardener and just nonstop every single day. And I'm sure you probably do that. And a lot of the parents, and when I mention it, they're like, "Yeah, I do that." And I'm like, "Okay." But I said, okay. You've been here for like what, 3 hours? I haven't seen him say it once. Yes, sir.
Hey, Jerry, I should tell you now that you brought that up. Last week, in the aftermath of our interview with Steve, I was able to plant a seed of kindness. Want to hear what I did?
Yes. Love it.
I was biking to Safeway to pick up some stuff, and on my way back, a truck lost 6 chairs, which scattered across the highway. And I saw the opportunity right away, and I decided to help the stranger. I picked up all the chairs off the street and helped them load it back onto the truck. And she was telling me, "Thank you. I've had a really bad day. This is embarrassing." And I told her, nothing to be embarrassed about. Things happen. And when I rode off from the scene when complete, she honked at me when she went by, and it was the first time that I didn't get upset when someone honked at me.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
You made a good point, Jerry. I tend to agree with you wholeheartedly. Prejudice and discrimination, it's not born into people. It's a learned behaviour.
Yep.
It's absolutely a learned behaviour. Nobody is born to be a bully. It's something that they've witnessed, and they have as I said with my situation, it's a mimicked behaviour. They've either witnessed it or they've had it done to themselves. But if you nurture people, as you said earlier, nurture it out of people, that's where it all begins.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we're a collection of all this shit that we've learned from our parents and our surroundings. You know, show me your crowd, I will show you your future. You know, it's like Michelangelo, when he created the statue of David, there was a big hunk of marble that somebody had discarded in the trash, and he got it out, shipped it to a studio. This is a true story, and shipped it to a studio, and he started chipping away until the statue of David, one of the greatest pieces of works of art, was created. And we are like that statue of David. When we're born unique. We're born with no beliefs. We're born like a clean slate. And then everybody starts telling us you're no good. And oh my God, you're no good. You'll never do that. You'll never amount to anything. You're going to make $1 million, but you're going to lose it. And just so much crap and then what happens is it's collected, and it's just built up all over us, all over our true natural spirit. And we got to learn. And if we can teach young kids at an early age to chip it away, then we can become that masterpiece, and we can be all that we're meant to be and become the best version of ourselves. And exactly. And if we can learn this crap, we can unlearn it.
One of the things that is really powerful that I wish we could get more in schools is teaching meditation and mindfulness.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yes. You know, people start screaming about religious beliefs, but that has been one of the things that I have really focused my attention on. And yoga is so good for the body and soul, because when you're bullied and that trauma, it manifests itself in your body.
Yeah.
And it will manifest in different areas, or you'll have headaches or whatever. And so we've got to teach healthy ways of working through these: meditation, mindfulness, yoga, whatever you want to call it. But we've got to get that more in our schools. Goldie Hawn is one of my biggest heroes, because that's what she goes into schools and teaches. And I would love to be a part of that with her. I mean, but it's one of my dreams to have been able to work with her and do that more often in schools, because it is definitely needed. And if we're teaching that, the kids aren't going to become bullies. If they know how to stop and calm themselves down, we're going to make so much headway.
Oh my God. They teach meditation in schools, some schools around the world, and they've taken away detention and replaced it with meditation. Oh my God, meditation, character development classes should be in all schools. They should teach meditation. They should teach breath work. They should teach the importance of exercising, journaling, visualization, all these things.
Nutrition. What kid, when they come sugar bombed to school, isn't going to get agitated, you know? And I see kids come to school with huge Dr. Peppers or, you know, whatever soda.
Yeah, crazy.
And that's one of the things that we've got to really teach in schools too, is, in fact, before we start teaching the ABCs, we should start teaching kids how to take care of themselves. And that is one of the biggest things that I want to do as I shift in my life.
Yeah, it's awesome. Hey guys, I hate to break the party up, but it's only been going for an hour and 20. It's the shortest hour and 20 because there's a lot more to say, and we are going to continue this in another 4 weeks once we get this out. So, well, I tell you, I'm just breathless with the conversations that have happened here today. Just amazing. Really, really amazing. And thanks, Jerry, for moderating this. And I really hope, you and Karen will definitely create something out of this between you two for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to talk, Karen. Yeah. Excellent. Yes.
100%.
I'm really
100%.
Yes.
Adam, you didn't get as a long a time as we would have liked, but this is not ending. When we do it again, next one, you'll be first up, mate.
Yeah, no worries. That's great.
I promise. But what you said was great anyway. Everything you said was really fantastic.
Yeah, one thing I do just want to finish up on, as has been mentioned a few times here, I think one of the downfalls in human society is we have a built-in flight or fight mechanism. And I think people, they take offense to criticism, and in that same vein, they then follow that through and feel like they need to be nasty to the next person. Otherwise, that person in turn could come back and be nasty to them. And that's one thing, as well as the mindfulness and that sort of thing. That's another life experience that could be taught in schools, that you don't necessarily, someone gives you an opinion, you don't even have to take it on board. If you don't agree with it, don't take it on board.
The four agreements.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry.
There's I think it's an Australian comedian. I cannot remember his name now. He's got very long black hair. He does this thing with about talking about taking offense. It's hilarious. You got to Google it. But look, we got to go. Doug's got to go. We're all got to go. Thanks, everyone. It's been amazing. Doug, can you finish up, and then we'll head off into our day. Thanks, everybody. Loved everything you did today and shared. Over to you, Doug.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So, everyone, I want to thank you all for appearing on the panel. Thank you, Karen, for making the time to chat with us about your experience. And Jerry, thank you for moderating such a great discussion. And Adam, thank you for your anti-bullying activism. And even though they're not here at the moment, thank you, Pippa and Belle and Diamond Daryl, for doing your part in anti-bullying activism too. And everyone, we hope that these stories will inspire you, and we'll see you next week for the next Relentless and Unstoppable episode.